Hello folks, this is Tom Martin. This is my lottery strategy game, Decoding the Powerball guessing game. I'm picking my numbers for the drawing on February 15th, 2023. If you'd like to support my game, Decoding the Powerball, then please go to my Patreon page at www.patreon.com/Decoding the Powerball. Thank you, and please subscribe. Okay, so if you've never seen my videos before, the object of my game is for you to correctly eliminate groups of numbers. There are 69 white ball numbers in the Powerball lottery. Only 5 numbers can come up as winners, so that means 64 numbers can't come up at all. So for me, I think it should be easier to pick the numbers that won't be coming up than the 5 that actually do. Okay, in this video I'll be updating and making my picks. Okay, so what you're looking at here is what I call the game card. This is a format that I came up with that helps me reduce the numbers down to hopefully the 5 correct winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so you can see that I have 5 colors here: red, orange, green, blue, purple. And I have 5 colors that represent the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go to the Powerball homepage to find out what were the 5 white winning Powerball numbers. It was 17, 26, 37, 61, and 65. The Powerball number was 2, but I'm only concerned about these 5 white ball numbers right now. Okay, so I put those right here. Again, the winning numbers were 17, 26, 37, 61, and 65. And now I'm going to put some colors to it like I did here in the past. And I'm going to get the colors off of the game card. Okay, so the 17, 26 were green, the 37 was blue, the 61 was green, and the 65 was red. So I'm going to color these in. So again, the 17, 26, 61 were green, the 37 was blue, and the 65 was red. So that gives me 3 colors total. So I'm going to make this 210 color code drawings I kept track of so far. And now a 3 color combination has now come up 99 times. Okay, so you can see on my game card it says 2/13/23, so I need to update it to the 15th. So I'm going to get rid of all these colors and start from scratch. Okay, so my color code is right here. Here's the red numbers, the orange, green, blue, and whatever's left over is purple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer these 15 numbers in the red area over to the game card as red numbers. So again, it was the 17, 26, 37, 61, 65. The next line down is the 10, 23, 30, 54, and 65. The 65 is already taken. So the next line down is the 52, the 58, the 59, 64, and 66. So again, I'm going to make these red. And now I'm going to count how many red numbers I have. So over here I got 3, and 3 are 6. 2 are 10, 2 are 12, 14. I'm sorry, it's 14 total. So I'm going to put 14 up here in the red area. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing with the orange. I'm going to transfer all these orange numbers over to the game card. Okay, so I'm going to start out with the 5, the 11, the 22, the 23 is taken, so the 69. The next line down is the 2, the 8, 15, 19, 58, which is already taken. The next line down is the 31, the 43, 58, 59, 66 are taken. So the last line is the 1, 4, 12, 36, and 49. So again, I'm going to make these orange. And now I'm going to count how many orange numbers I got. So I got 3, and 4 are 7, 3 are 10, 1's 11, 12, and 3 are 15. Okay, so now I move on to the green, the blue, and then the purple. But I already did this, and I'm just going to copy and paste. and this is the game card for the 15th. So again, I had 14 red numbers, 15 orange, turned out to be 14 green, 14 blue, and 12 purple numbers. Okay, so the reason why I do this is, again, I found out that most of the time it comes out a 3-color combination, which means most of the time 2 colors are not coming up, and that's what I want to focus on here. So I want to try to correctly guess what color will not be coming up. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at what was the majority of numbers that came up the last time. It was odds 4 to 1. The only even number was the 26. Okay, so my guess is that this next drawing is going to be the majority of odd numbers. So I'm going to look at the color, and I'm going to eliminate the color that has the most even numbers. Okay, so I'm going to start with the red numbers. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I got 8 even and 6 odd. For the orange numbers, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I got 6 even and 9 odd numbers. Then it's the green. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 out of 14. So 9 even numbers, 5 odd. And then off to the blue, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Again, 8 even, 6 odd. And the last one is purple. I got 1, 2, 3, and that's it. Okay, so the one that stands out the most for me is the green. 9 even numbers, 5 odd. My prediction is that no green numbers are going to come up. Okay, so I'm going to eliminate all these green numbers off my game card. So I'm going to block these numbers out, and hopefully no green numbers come up. Okay, so that's just one way of doing things. Okay, I came up with a bunch of things to help me eliminate numbers. Okay, so the next one is the individual numbers, what I call the individual numbers. Okay, so here's the winning numbers right here. Again, 17, 26, 37, 61, 65. And as you follow this 17 all the way to the 17 here, with this line, I put down an orange dot in orange color because the 17 is orange. Okay, so what I do now is I want to reduce this down so you can see the whole card. I divided all 69 numbers into 7 different groups. And again, there's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers, so I know that 2 of these groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. Okay, so the first group is 1 through 9. This is the only group with 9 numbers, where the other 6 have 10 numbers for 69 numbers. And what I like to do is I look at this to see what color hasn't come up in a while. So you can see that here's the red, orange, green, blue, purple. All 5 colors are right here, pretty close. So that's really no help. Then over here I got red, orange, green, blue, purple. That's kind of no help either. And then in the 20s, I had it so a red number hasn't come up in a while. So here's the red. And I was saying that, I think a red is due to come up, and it finally did with the 23 right here. So over here with the 30s, I'm looking, Red, orange, green, blue, purple. All of them are pretty close. The 40's the same way. Red, orange, green, blue, purple. All the colors are right here. So here with the 50's, I really don't see a green number that's come up in a little while here. It's been 5, 10, 15, 20. Just about 20 drawings now. So let's take a look at the 50's on the game card to see if there's any green numbers there. Okay, so I'm going back to the game card. And as you can see, I have no green numbers in the 50's. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, again, I want to look at this and say, okay, what group will not have a winning Powerball number to it? I want to reduce this down one more time. Take a look real quick. The only thing that really stands out to me here is the teen numbers. I like to call it the teen, but it's 10 through 19. Got the 10, 11, 12 in there. So, but you can see that these numbers have been really hot. Okay, so each one of these squares right here, this is good for 5 drawings. And I like to break it down like that because it's just easier to count. Like, let's say I have this blue and I want to see how many has come up. It's been 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, and so on. But I notice that when I do break it down into 5, I notice that the maximum amount of numbers that come into this 5 drawings is like 8. But then I look at the average. What's the average? The average is right around 4. Between 3 and 4 numbers will come up like this in this pattern of 5 drawings here. So when I see something that's been like, you know, over 4, so I got 5 here, I got 4 here, I got 4 here, 4 here, 4 here, and finally 1. I'm just thinking that these numbers of 10 through 19 that have been just really, really hot. And since there's 6 other groups for the numbers to come up into, I'm thinking that these teen numbers are going to go on a cold streak here. Or at least I'm hoping so. So I'm going to predict that there's going to be no winning Powerball numbers right here. And I'm going to eliminate the 10 through 19 off of my game card. So blow this back up. I go back to my game card. And I'm going to get rid of the 10 through 19 numbers off of my game card. And again, hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so the next strategy I have is I put the numbers in the groups. This is what I call my group 4 numbers, okay? And the reason why I call it group 4 is because I divided all the numbers into 4 different groups, 4 different color groups. Okay, so I'm going to update this here. So again, the 17 came up, that was in red, so I'm going to put down the 1, that represents the 17. And then in the blue I had the 26. In the orange I had the 37. And in the green I had the 61, 65. So over here it hit 4 of the color groups. And if the majority of the numbers were over here to the left side, I'm going to color this 4 red. But since the majority was over here on the right side, I'm going to color that 4 green. And this is why I have this group 4. I also have group 6, group 8, and group 10. And the reason why I have even numbers like this is so I can have that majority. Okay, so if there was 2 hits out of 3, I color it a light red. If there was all 3 of them had a hit like this, I'm going to color it a dark red. And if the majority was zeros, I'm going to color it blue. So over here, this is how many blue marks I had. I had 1 right here. Now here I'm going to color the outside green because I had 2 green marks and 1 red. So how many triple hits did I have like this? I had 1. And now that's it. Now I'm all updated. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to another one, which I call Powerball number 2. And here I have another 4 group thing to predict where I think the zeros are going to be. Okay, so this one's already updated. Again, you can see that the 17 and the 37 were green. So I got 2 in the green. Then I have the 26 and 65 in the blue. So you can see I have 2 blue. And then the 61 was red, so I had 1 in the red. So this is the strategy right here. You want to try to guess where the 0 is going to be, because none of these orange numbers came up in the last drawing. And if I could have correctly guessed that, I could have eliminated all these orange numbers off of my game card and gave myself a much better chance at winning some kind of prize with the Powerball lottery. Okay, so I also have a Powerball number 3. Now this one's already updated as well. Now the reason why I have the 3 of them is because I always want one of these in this position, where I have 2 numbers at the top, because when the 3rd number comes up, I'm going to be putting a color to it. Okay, so this is like the easiest one to pick from. Even though I get it wrong lots of times, it's still, you know, like easier to pick compared to this one, like right here, where I have no numbers to go by. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. I always have something in this position where I got 2 numbers at the top, 2 out of 3. And now I'm going to make a prediction. Okay, so the reason why I have so many of these, okay, so I got a 4 group, and out of this 4 group I got 7 option cards to choose from. And then I got group 6, where I also have another 7 option cards to choose from. And I got group 8, where I have 9 cards to choose from. And then I have this group 10, where I just have 3 cards to choose from. So I look at this as like divide and conquer. Okay, I want to divide the Powerball numbers into so many options for myself that hopefully I'll give myself a good chance at reducing the numbers correctly and giving myself a good chance at winning a really good prize. Okay, so now I'm actually going to make a prediction here. Now with this thing over here, I got this 000, which you can see that there's a bunch of 000s that come up. And usually there's always 1 or 2 of them. And I also have a triple hit that doesn't come up as much. So I'm looking at this and saying, okay, where are the opportunities for a 000? It's right here in the green and yellow. So usually there's a 000 is what the stats say, okay? So will this be a 1? Will it be a 2? If it's a 2, then both of these are going to miss. I'm just going to go with 1. And I'm going to say it's this green. Okay, so I'm going to mark this with a blue mark, just saying that I picked this. And this way, when I come back and update things, I can look at it and say, yeah, I got this correct. None of these green numbers came up. Or it was one of these green numbers came up and burned me. Okay, so I'm going to say that this green is going to have a 000. It's going to have a 0 right here. And I'm going to get rid of all these green numbers off my game card. The 39, 40, 41, 43. So I'll get rid of the 41 and 43. And then the 67, 68, 69. So I'll get rid of those 3 as well. And again, hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so moving on. Again, what do I have for a 000 opportunity? I got the orange, green, pink, brown, and light blue. So I like to see, okay, which one hasn't come up in a while. You can see the light blue kind of stands out the most with the brown. And then over here you can see that it's come up fairly recent in the orange and green here. Okay, so as I look at this, you know how I said that I'm going to make these green and red? Well, when I see a bunch of green, this tells me that the majority of the numbers have been coming over here to the right side. And I'm thinking that this number coming up is going to be a red number. So I think that the majority of the numbers will be over here to the left side. So I'm going to look over here at the right side to predict where the 0 is going to be, because I think a maximum of 2 of these color groups can have a hit to it. And I'm going to go with brown. So I'm going to get rid of all these brown numbers off of my game card to start with the 18, 8, 16, 24. Again, I like this brown because I think the majority of the numbers overall will be odd numbers. And by getting rid of these brown numbers, you can see that the majority is even numbers, so I like that. So again, I get rid of the 18, 8, 16, 24 to start. So I'll get rid of the 8, 24. And then the 41, 50, 58. I get rid of the 50, 58, and hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so moving on. So again, I have 10 of these color groups. There's only 5 white winning Powerball numbers. So technically I could get rid of 5 of these color groups all at once. But the thing is I only like to get rid of 1 because that's like the best odds. Maybe if I could just get 1 correct, I'll move on to the next one, the next option card, and hopefully I'll get another one correct. But if I feel, hey, I'll go with light blue, I'll go with pink, I'll go with purple, I'll go with orange, well, maybe there'll be a hit there and that will screw me all up. Okay, so looking at this, I have my gut feeling says that this is going to be green, so I think that the majority of the numbers will be over here to the right side. And the only 000 opportunity I have is here in the purple. And I'm going to go with that. So, well, maybe not. See, they're all odd numbers, and I think the majority of odd numbers are going to come up. So, let me reevaluate this real quick. Now another thing too is if I don't have a good gut feeling of what's not going to come up, then maybe I'll look at it and say, okay, what is going to come up? Like maybe there'll be a hit here in the turquoise. You can see that they're all odd numbers. So maybe one or maybe even two of these will have a hit to it. Just look at the game card real quick. 7, 9, 17, 21. Alright, so that's it. I only have 3 of these, and now I have the overview of all 3 option cards. So here in this turquoise, each of the turquoise had a hit to it. So let's go over that real quick. So here there was 2 hits of turquoise that had 1 hit, and the other turquoise that had another hit. Okay, so that's what I mean for all 3 option cards. It had 3 hits. And of course what I'm looking for is a 0-3. And as I look at this, you can see a 0-3 has come up fairly often, except for this yellow. It's way down here. Maybe this is due to come up. So I'm going to say hopefully it does, and I'm going to get rid of all the yellow for all 3 option cards. So I'm going to go with this one as well. And I'm going to get rid of the 4, 11, 44, 63. And then I'm going to get rid of the 49, 58. Okay, so hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so moving on, number 2. Again, I'm going to get rid of the yellow. So I'm going to get rid of the 13, 30, 40, 42, and the 46. So I'll get rid of the 30, and that's it. And again, hopefully that number does not come up. Okay, the last one. Here in the yellow. I'm going to get rid of the 6, 16, 26, 42, 50, 58. And I'll get rid of the 26. Well, it's one more number off of my game card. Okay, so now I'm going to go to, that was 3A, now I'm going to go to 3B. And the same thing here. Again, for a 000, I got the red, orange, green, and brown. Looking at this, I'm thinking that it's going to be a red number, so I think the majority of the numbers will be over here. So I'm going to look over here to predict where I think the 0 is going to be. Okay, I'm not really seeing anything that really sticks out, so I'm going to move on. So I got the red, blue, yellow, turquoise. And the one that stands out the most is this turquoise. because you can see that a 000, like right here, has never come up. Where literally all the others have. So I'm going to say that hopefully this is due to have that happen, and I'm going to get rid of the turquoise numbers. So the 24 I know is gone, so the 31, 32, 33, and then the 57, 67, 57, 66, 67. So I'll get rid of the 31, 32 and the 57, 66. And again, hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so I got the blue and the orange and the brown. Don't really feel comfortable picking at any of these, so I'm going to leave it alone, and I'm going to go right to the overview and see if I see a 03 that hasn't come up in a while. The only one is the blue, but I don't really feel comfortable with that, so I'm going to leave this alone and move on to group 3C. Okay, so the first thing that really sticks out to me is this pink. Hasn't had a red mark in a while, so maybe I'm thinking a hit's going to be right here. They're all even numbers. Excuse me, I'm still have a little bit of cold here. Well, I see the 28. Okay, so what do I have for a 000? I got the orange and green and purple. You can see a 000 hasn't come up very often here in the purple. So I'm going to go with that. So I'm going to get rid of the 2, 12, 22, 40, 50, 60. So I'll get rid of the 2 and the 22. And the 52. Okay, so moving on. For 000, I got the purple, turquoise, brown, and light blue. So the one that stands out to me the most is this turquoise, because of all this red right here. So I'm going to go with this, the turquoise, and I'm going to get rid of the 12, 18, 22, the 8, 14, 24, and the 52. And you can see that they're all gone. Okay, so moving on. See a bunch of green over here, which tells me that the majority of the numbers have been coming over here to the right side. And I'm thinking that the majority of the numbers that will be coming up here will be over here to the left side. And this green is looking really good here. So let's take a look at the green. 39, 40, 41, and the 52 to the 55. So I got the 53, 54, 55 that's still left on the board. Okay, so here in this turquoise, you can see that there's never been a 000 here. I have the opportunity, so I'm hoping that's going to happen. So I'm going to get rid of all these turquoise. So it's the 5, 6, 7, 66 through to 69. So I'll get rid of the 5 and the 7. And again, hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so here I'm going to look at the overview. See that 03, 03, 03. This purple one hasn't had one in a while. Or the light blue. So I'm going to go with the light blue. So here I'm going to go with the light blue on number 1. And I'm going to get rid of the 7, 17, 23, 33. So I'll get rid of the 23. And then I get rid of the 49, 57, 67. And there's nothing there. Okay, so moving on to number 2. Again, I'm going to go with the light blue. So I'll get rid of the 3, 11, 19. So I'll get rid of that 3. Then I get rid of the 41, 50, 57, 66. And those numbers are gone. Okay, so last one. The light blue. I get rid of the 14, 29, 30. So I'll get rid of the 29. And then I get rid of the 42, 43, 58, 59. And I'll get rid of that 59. Okay, so now I'm moving on to 6A. This is where I broke things down into 6 different color groups. So this is harder to pick, of course. But I still know that at least one of these color groups cannot have a winning Powerball number to it. So I'm going to look and see if there's anything that really stands out. Kind of like this blue right here. You can see it's been really red over here, which tells me that the majority of the numbers have been over to the left side. So I'm going to go with this blue. I'm going to eliminate the blue numbers off of my game card. So 2 to the 4, 17 to the 34. So I'll get rid of that 34. 47, 55, 56. I'll get rid of the 55, 56. And then the 50, 51, 60. And I'll get rid of that 51. Okay, so moving on. I got 3 of these groups as well. 3 of these option cards. Again, you can see that over here, the majority has been green, which tells me that the majority of the hits have been over here to the right side. And I kind of like this 0 to be right here, so I could have 2 blues in a row here, like right here. So I'm going to go with purple. And I'm going to get rid of the 47 to the 51, and then the 52 to the 57. Although I did like... did kind of like that 53, 54 here, so I think I'll cancel that and move on to the next one. Certainly this orange really sticks out. I'm going to go with the orange, and I get rid of that 48. And that's it. And moving on. Again, I'm looking for a 03 that hasn't come up in a long time. And certainly this blue kind of fits the bill. But I'll leave it alone. Moving on to the next one, 6B. Kind of like this red over here. Been super hot. But not enough to take it, I guess. So moving on. Don't really like any of these. Kind of like this orange that have a hit to it. I'm gonna go with this purple right here. So I'll get rid of all of the purple. 5, 6, 23, 31, 32. I think the only one left is the 25 anyways. So I'll get rid of the 37, 64, 65. And again, hopefully those numbers do not come up. Okay, so I'm getting down here. I got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I got 11 numbers left. I want to get down to 5. Gonna see 0 3s all the way across except for here in the red. I'll take a look at the red here. I did kind of like this, so I'm gonna get rid of this red. So the 1, 11, 18, 30. So I'll get rid of the 1. And then the 54. Okay, so let's take a look at the other red here as well. Kind of like this one here as well. I'm going to go with this red. Really nothing to get rid of. Okay, so I'm all done, all my options here for Powerball number 3. So we're going to go to Powerball number 2, where I have at least one number at the top. This one certainly looks good here in the red. But as I look over here, I can see that the majority of the numbers have been coming up over on this side. So now I don't like it. So this is my group 4, and this is really hard to pick, but if I could get it correct, I can knock out up to 17 numbers. So instead of messing with this, I'm going to go to group 8, where I have a better chance at picking the 0 correctly. Okay, so kind of liking this blue right here. Now here I only have 3 option cards as well. And I kind of like this red to have a hit to it. So I'm going to mark it with a red. I think the 21 is still left on the board. It is, so I like this 21. And now I'm going to look at the overview to see if there's anything that really sticks out. This gray has never had a 0 3 to it, so let me take a look at that. See, it's been really hot. I'm going to go with this gray. So I know there's nothing here, so the 36 to the 63 plus the 61. Okay, so that will bring me down to 6 numbers. I want to get down to 5. Again, I kind of like this gray. And I think I'm going to go with that, and I'll knock out that 35. And that will bring me down to 5 numbers. Okay, so I like the 21, the 25, the 28, the 53, and the 62. Suddenly the majority of are odd numbers. And now I want to pick the Powerball number. Okay, so in the last drawing, it was the 11. No, it was the 2, so I got to update that. Okay, so on this side, black means evens. And on this side, blue means low. So it's 1 to 13. So I'm going to keep this blue. Okay, so looking at this, I see one black, black, single black, then a double, and then finally hit 4 here. So I'm going to predict that this next number here is going to be black, so I think it's going to be evens. And over here, I think that this is going to be red, so I think it's going to be high between 14 and 26. Okay, so I only want the even numbers, so I believe it's going to be either a 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, or 26. So looking through here, I want to look for the oldest even number that's above 14. So it's 14, 16, 18. There's the 18, 22, 26. There's the 14. So I'm looking for the 16. Here's the 20. There's the 24 and the 16 right at the same spot. 16 is a little bit older. So I'm going to go with the 16. Okay, so the numbers I'm going to go with are the 21, 25, 28, 53, 62, and the Powerball number 16. Okay, so a couple things here. Like Sherlock Holmes would say, it's a matter of deduction. So if these blocked out numbers don't come up, then these 5 highlighted numbers have to come up. Okay, so what are the odds? The odds of getting the grand prize, all 5 white ball numbers in the red ball, is 1 in 292 million. Okay, this game is geared up for mostly the white balls. So the odds of getting just the 5 white balls correct are 1 in just about 12 million. Okay, so in other words, you can make nearly 12 million 5-number combinations out of 69 numbers. So I don't want to say that this is going to be easy. Okay, so another thing for a budget, I want to know what I'm spending. So if I spend $3 per drawing, there's 3 drawings per week. That will equal out to $468 per year that I will spend on the Powerball playing my game. Okay, so that's about it. So in closing, I just want to thank you for watching. Again, you can support my game through my Patreon page at patreon.com/Decoding the Powerball. And if you'd like to give me any feedback, then please email me at decodingpowerball@gmail.com. Again, there's no "the" in there. It's just decodingpowerball@gmail.com. And as always, I want to wish you the best of luck with your picks.